Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is Saturday, and it is the last Saturday of the month, and that means it is time for the Extra Life Charity Marathon stream. We are back with a new edition of Bluebeard's Bride. We played it previously, I think, in June, May. We played it this year sometime. It was dope, and we're back again with more of it because Katie jumped in and volunteered and said, I want to run this game, and I've been looking for an excuse to throw her on the channel and throw her to the wolves. More importantly. So let's go around, introduce our lovely cast and crew here, and then hear where they're from, and then jump into this game. So, Katie, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And yeah, I think that's it. That's really it.
I'm Katie. You can find me on my personal Twitter at KatieFace. I run Off the Tables, _the tables, Twitter, their social media and such. I'm there basically all the time. I'm there every other Monday playing Tales from Therisha, our 5e game. I'm there every Tuesday for our Urban Shadows campaign. I'm there every other Wednesday playing Burning Wheel or working on our podcast for Monster Hearts. I'm there every Friday for Monster Hearts, or I will be doing Monster of the Week. I'm the keeper there. I'm on Pro Restarter's channel playing Masks on Wednesday. I will be running another Monster Hearts campaign on Thursdays on Scraticus's channel. That is about it. If you want to know what else I'm on, anything I suddenly comes up, just follow me on personal Twitter. I do a lot of stuff, so I don't know how to say no, but that's where I am.
Would you say that you like Powered by the Apocalypse games, or
yeah, I have to say, you know, maybe I like them a little bit.
Sounds like D&D's for you then.
Yeah, favors.
Perfect. So let's jump around to Sophie. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hi, yeah, I'm Sophie. Find me at Sophie_May_. It's in the chat. It's spelled weirdly. Yeah, you can find me Mondays on my own stream usually. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays I'm over at Pro Restarter playing games over there. Fridays is either video games on my channel or Blades in the Dark on my channel, which is every 2 weeks it seems. Which is my first game I've ever DM'd, which is really fun. And yeah, tomorrow I'm on Capricorn Cross's channel for Chronicles of Cascadus. So that's where you can find me throughout the next couple of weeks. And today I am playing the Virgin sister of Bluebeard's Bride.
Sweet. Let's jump over to Lauren. Lauren, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I am at JL_nice girl on Twitter. Okay. Man, I was not prepared to do this right away. Okay. So, on Monday, every other Monday, you can find me on Off the Table playing Tales from Therisha, which is D&D 5e with Katie. On Tuesdays, I am on twitch.tv/wanderingdm playing Star Wars Points of Light, which is a Saga Edition game that we converted over to 5e. On Wednesdays, I am on Pro Restarter's channel playing Masks. And then this Friday will be the last game of Alas for the Awful Sea over on Off the Table. I also run a podcast called Too Many RPGs. Those come out every other Tuesday. And we've actually covered unMadeGaming on the show. We covered Havoc in the Hinterlands.
That's true. You did do that. I remember that now.
Yeah.
That was just like last.
Surprised. I was like, I'm pretty sure we talked to you.
You did, yeah. Everyone involved talked to me, but I just got back from like training in the woods for 3 weeks, so my brain is
fair.
just a dumpster fire. So yeah, I was like, who covered me on what now? Yeah, yeah, that was like last month, wasn't it, or 2 months ago? Yeah, awesome. And who are you playing in this game?
Oh, I am playing the Fatale.
Sweet. And Dave, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hi, I am Dave. I am playing the Animus today, and you can find me on Twitter at cc-2224. I also appear from time to time on the Off the Table Twitch channel, where I am playing Monster of the Week under Katie's directive, and that's a fun time where we all hurt each other's feelings. And that's about it for now.
Fantastic. And who are you playing in this game?
I am playing the Animus.
Okay, sweet. I will be playing the Witch. I think I played the Animus last time. That was a pretty fun one. So before we hand things over to Katie to explain what this game is and what the hell we're doing in this, so this is a charity stream. So guys, if you check the donation section down below, you can see all the fun things you can donate for, nat 1s, nat 20s. And I've already warned Katie of all your craziness, and she's going to do her best to translate that to make it work for this game. Also, Mercer, thank you for that 14-month subscription. Super dope. That's it, I think. So, Katie, without further ado, take us away to Bluebeard's Bride.
Okay, so those of you who've seen this played before, you'll probably know a little bit about it. I'll explain what it is for those of you who haven't. Bluebeard's Bride is a Powered by the Apocalypse tabletop role-playing game, so it is a 2d6 system. It's from Magpie Games, and it's a supernatural feminine horror game, and it's set in this familiar fairy tale that a lot of us probably know. It's similar to the story that in this house, there's one room that's off limits to Bluebeard's new wife. But this isn't the story about Bluebeard. It is specifically a story about his bride. And eventually the bride falls prey to her curiosity. And in the story, she opens the room that leads to her discovering evidence that her husband is a gruesome murderer of his previous wives, and it leads to her death. So in this game, one of the interesting parts of it is that each player takes on different aspects of the bride's psyche. So you're all actually playing the same character, but you're playing they're known as sisters. So it's each player will be taking turns speaking and deciding which actions the bride will take. And you might not always agree, because this is an example of the internal struggle when you feel confronted with difficult choices you have to make as a person. So sometimes a player will wear Bluebeard's ring and you will directly control your actions. If you wear the ring, you will take actions that you roll for. But that doesn't mean that the other sisters cannot act. When this happens, the other sisters can take just regular moves that you don't have to act on. You don't have to roll for. So that way they can still contribute to the investigation. So the story is not random. You're still guided by the original story, but the rooms you go into, that's what makes this a game that you can play over and over again, because each room is completely different and they're still related to each of the sisters. So ending up in the final room, that's what seals the fate of the bride. So the goal of the game is for the bride to investigate these rooms because you've heard these stories of your new husband. You'll be filling up tracks of faithful, I believe they're called faithfulness and disloyalty tracks. So the more evidence you find, whoever has the ring, you're going to decide if this evidence you find makes Bluebeard, it makes you loyal to Bluebeard or makes you disloyal. And whenever you fill up this track, that's when you find the final room. If we get close to running out of time, because there's 3 tracks for faithful, 3 tracks for disloyal. If we get close to running out of time, because this is a one shot, 3 hours, and this game can actually take up to 6 hours, even though it's a one shot. We will just go to present the final evidence to the final room with whichever track has the most tokens. That's just what we're going to do. That's the advice they give you in the book. So we'll also be using lines and bells for the system. We filled out lines and bells before we played, and we'll also be using the X card. This is a horror game that can deal with some very heavy stuff. And so, if at any moment something triggers one of you guys out of nowhere, you can private message me in Zoom chat with just an X, throw up X card. We'll immediately stop, no questions asked, rewind, start the scene over as if it never happened. And we also have the O card, which means that if you're reacting, crying, scared, really into the RP, you're okay, you want to carry on, you love it, you want more of it. A lot of us in this game are very dramatic, I know from fact, so we'll just keep going, it's no big deal. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go over a little bit of character creation before we start, and we will just we have to answer a little bit of questions, and we can begin. So, I believe, Dave, you said you are the animus, correct?
Yeah, sorry, give me a second. Yes, I am.
Okay. So we go through this character creation and we answer questions one by one for your wedding prep. So for the animus, what are the bride's hands like?
I think they are relatively well kept, nails filed, etc. Probably traditionally used for not manual labor, as there aren't many calluses on them. Maybe there are a few from, I don't know. I don't know exactly what this bride did previously, so.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay. So, Fatal.
Yeah.
What does the bride's mouth look like?
I think she has a small mouth. It is but her lips are quite plump.
Okay.
And she always wears kind of like a pink lipstick, like a not like a super bright pink, but kind of like a soft pink.
Okay. Okay. Virgin. What do the bride's eyes look like?
I imagine in contrast to the small mouth, they'd be quite big, like
Sort
full
of like
lash.
doe eyes.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one. Like full lashes. I imagine it'd be green.
Okay.
But yeah, I imagine she's like they've got like a scared doe eye look in them as well, sort of thing. Like
Okay.
she's in this mysterious place.
Okay. Awesome. And witch. What did the bride's hair like?
The hair of the bride is a deep crimson, and it flows as though it was underwater.
I like it. Okay. Back to the animus. What weakness do you give away when others hold your hand?
Probably a bit of a tremble from uh, anxieties and stuff that they have about being near people.
Okay. And do you react when people point that out, or do you try to hide it?
Try to hide it, sort of deflect from it if possible.
Okay. Fatal. How do others keep you quiet?
I think it's usually somebody will grab her hand and squeeze it.
Do you fight that, or do you go along with it?
I think I usually go along with it because I'm so afraid of the closeness that like of other people being close, that it just that's like the one way to really get me to stop talking, is to make me uncomfortable.
All right. Virgin. How do others know you want them when they gaze into your eyes?
Such a quite tricky one. I guess like she kind of looks away, like that subtle kind of look away, and almost that hard to get kind of thing, like I don't know, like the fluttering the eyelashes and the looking down, and yeah.
Okay. Very like a very almost sort of like teasing kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so. Like that kind of like look down, glance back up, look down again, sort of thing.
How do others like you to wear your hair?
They prefer it pulled back and tamed and in full control.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, Witch, we'll start with you again. We'll start with you this time. What are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
She is the eldest child of a small family, and I'll say her father is dead and her mother has taken ill, and she is the only caregiver for the rest of the children. And by taking up the mantle of his bride, she leaves them to the care of the elderly mother or the state.
Okay, like it. Virgin, same question. What are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
Almost in a similar vein, I imagine she has like, I kind of imagined it being like a small country kind of house, like it's provincial, and she probably had a horse, which she probably couldn't take with her.
Okay. What was the horse's name?
Oh my gosh, you got me there. I'm gonna give her Sandy. I love a horse called Sandy.
Same question, Fatah. What are you leaving behind?
I think there was like the blacksmith's apprentice who she knew kind of growing up, and then as they got older, it was kind of like everybody expected them to get married. She never really decided how she felt about him.
Okay. And Animus, what are you leaving behind?
I think she's leaving behind her best friend from childhood, Mary, who she was friends with because she lived at a nearby farm.
Okay. It's nice. I like it. Animus, when you first met Bluebeard, what loving gesture did he make that won you over?
He didn't bring up the tremble.
Okay. Fatal, same question.
He God, I don't know. Can you come back to me?
Oh yeah, we can circle back around. Virgin, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make when you first met that won you over?
I imagine he was kind and gentle to the animals around, which I feel like is quite an important thing.
Okay. Witch, same question.
He treated the siblings as if they were his own.
Okay. Fatal.
He let her speak her mind.
Nice. Okay. Virgin, what gift did you give Bluebeard before the wedding, and why did you choose this gift?
I imagine it being like an old family heirloom, like maybe a watch that was perhaps passed down because her father is dead, so kind of she passed that on to him. Just to simplify him and her lives joining.
Okay. Animus, what gift did you give Bluebeard and why?
Huh. Can you come back to me? I'm
I
having.
can, yeah. What gift did you give Bluebeard and why?
She gave. She gave. A necklace that was passed to her from her mother.
And what did that symbolize to you and for Bluebeard?
The necklace is an ornate locket, and inside the locket it has the picture of her mother and the picture of her father. And she has inside of it is a small note that she once wrote her father when she was a child that he took and put inside of that locket. And she's kept it. The mother has kept it like that ever since.
Okay. Fatal, what gift did you give and why?
I think I gave him a very fine shaving set.
And what did that symbolize to you?
I think it was like the most expensive, most extravagant thing she could think of.
Okay. I like it. Animus, what was your gift and why?
Along the same vein, I think part of it was probably one of those combs that people use for their beards.
Okay. And why did you give this to him? What did it signify to you?
Probably because noticing his beard was his most standout feature of him. But trying to sort of like see how they can give something that would mean something to them.
Okay.
Words are hard.
No, I understand. No, I get it. Okay. And our last question, we'll start with a witch. Do you trust your generous husband, or do you hold unkind suspicion, and why?
I trust him because he seems like a person who appreciates family and can provide for me.
Okay. Virgin, do you trust your husband, and or do you find him suspicious, and why?
I trust him. I've always been like, if you're kind to animals, then usually you're a kind person.
Fatal, do you trust your husband, or are you suspicious, and why?
I don't know. No, I don't. Because Mary heard some strange rumors about him and warned me against him.
Okay. And you trust your childhood friend more than anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. And Animus, do you trust your husband, or are you suspicious, and why? Oh, you're muted.
Oops, I think I do not. I think I'm used to doing things like caring for my family and having to watch out for my younger siblings, and therefore am trying to be more cautious in this, even though it seems all good so far.
Okay. So you are just not that you're suspicious, particularly because of actions or what you've heard. You're just watching your back.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, next thing we're going to do, and this is the last thing we will do before we start. You all had face moves to pick. And so for people watching, face moves are special moves that each character, each system, it's face moves allow you to do something special, but they give you hints as how your particular sister will react to a stressful situation. and they're specific to the playbook, and you can pick one. So I told everybody just to save some time to sort of pick a face move that they would get, before, just save a little bit of time. So Animus, what face move? And also, I was going to say, can you read your if you have your character sheet up, read your if you'd like to read your description of Animus
Yeah.
before we go into our face moves.
Animus, you hold on to righteousness with both hands. Others admire your strength and bow to your will.
Okay. And what face move did you pick?
If it's okay with everyone, I will pick the shield. When one of your sisters marks experience, explain to her how the trauma she is experiencing is her fault, then ask if she believes you. If she believes you, she marks one less trauma. If she rejects your explanation, mark one trauma as you experience the shame of your own impotence.
Awesome.
Is that something that you guys are okay with?
Yeah, sounds dope.
Okay. So Fatal, if you'll read your description of your character.
Yeah. So you drip sensuality from your lips. Others watch your every move and crave for you to take control. And I chose the spider. Your beauty and charm get you what you want. When you trap a servant or whore with your feminine wiles, they will tell you a secret about either the house or Bluebeard. Mark trauma to ask a follow-up question.
All right. Virgin, if you'll read your description.
Yep. Oh, wrong one. There you go. You see beauty where there is none. Others seek comfort in your warmth and delight in your obedience.
What face move did you pick?
I'm going to go for the lily.
Okay.
Your beauty is a candle in the darkness. When you care for someone by showing them something beautiful, you do not have to demonstrate your sincerity.
Awesome. And Witch, if you will read your description, and then whatever face move you pick.
Sure. You braid magic from the shadow and blood. Others desire a taste of your sin and pray for your undoing. And I am picking the medium. Spill your blood to commune with the horrors of the room, mark one trauma, and the groundkeeper will share whisperings about what happened here and might ask you a question or two. Answer them.
Awesome. Just to save time, we're just going to do one sisterly bond. So, Animus, if you will pick one sisterly bond and just say who it's for, read it out, and then we will start the game proper. It's on your character sheets, by the way, if you didn't know where it was. And make sure you picked your stats. So in this game, one stat is filled in for you. For example, Animus has a +1 in carnality for when they roll, and then you can fill out the other two with a 0 and a -1. So +1 means you're really good at something. 0 means you're average. -1 means you're not good at it. So Animus, if you just want to pick, you can pick any of the 3 sisterly bonds. Usually, if you play the whole game, you would fill them all out. But we're just going to pick one, whichever one you like best, and describe which sister goes with, and like give a little reason why.
I'm going to go with Envious of Fate Hall, and it's because they are better at hiding their weakness.
Okay. Fatal, give me a bond.
The Virgin has no idea of a woman's true power, and I want to teach her because everyone thinks that she is beautiful, and beauty is power.
Okay, Virgin, give me a bond.
Which often helps you play tricks on the others. Explain time when she was your ally in mischief. I feel like, the witch.
And when did she help you play a trick on others?
I feel like, just like kind of playing pranks on people, jumping out at them, sort of thing. Like when she was younger, perhaps, or something. Like when
so that probably gives the both of you a sort of a stronger bond than any other sister. Okay, and Witch, give me a bond.
Mine is for the Virgin as well. And as soon as I find my character sheet, there it is. The Virgin is a useful tool. Explain how they helped you in the pursuit of your blasphemous craft. Her beauty and grace is easily turned to lure in exactly what I need whenever I need it.
Nice. Okay, and now we will begin the game. So, we start with the bride at the altar. You stand there, the man in front of you staring you up and down with a satisfied smile on his face. This is your husband, your new husband, Bluebeard. Your family sits in the room around you. Your siblings stare up at you. They're all ages, but you are the oldest. Your mother, weak and frail, looks at you, very proud of this man you've managed to marry against the odds. He's chosen you over every other young, eligible bachelorette in your small village. Your siblings have this bright look in their eyes because marrying this man means that there might be help for them now. This might secure a future for them. And your mother finally might have some help for whatever illness plagues her. So as your wedding comes to an end, you're whisked away to Bluebeard's estate. It's a beautiful home, bigger than you've ever seen before. Ivy crawls up the walls. It's cobblestone goes around in a circle as the horses and the carriage come to a stop. And as you are taken out of the carriage, a huge amount of servants welcome you inside. He leads you into not a brightly lit foyer. It's relatively dark inside, but he leads you into a dining room, explaining that as the sun sets, it's time to celebrate with dinner. And the two of you sit at a table that keeps you decently far apart. But a dinner is served, and it's far more than you're used to. Course after course of beautiful, beautiful courses of fruit and desserts and meats that you're not even sure you've ever seen before. But it goes by fast, and when it comes to an end and you're having a couple of drinks afterwards, a servant comes in and hands your new husband a letter. He reads it quickly, shakes his head, and he stands, and he runs his greasy hands down the front of his vest, not washed off from the meat he was eating with his fingers. He comes to your side, and you're still sitting, and he takes your hands, and he says, "My dear wife, I apologize, but I must leave you on our wedding night. I wish more than anything I could be here to consummate our marriage, but you know that my job calls me at the worst times. It is the life of a merchant." He leans in to kiss your forehead, and he says, "My home is now your home. What I have is now yours. You can do what you wish with anything. I share what I have with you. It is your right as my wife." As he digs through his pockets, he pulls out a key ring with these keys upon keys. And as you had walked in, you had seen doors that line these dark hallways, but you had no idea how many there were. He hands you this key ring, and he says, "These keys open the doors to any room you wish. They're whatever is inside, it's free to do with what you want." The headmistress of the staff, and he puts his hand out to this woman. She seems only a couple of years older than you. Her hair is graying though, and it's pulled back into a tight bun. And she sort of stares at you, and you catch the dislike in her eyes. He says, "Martine, she will be here to guide you if you need, but I must warn you." And he points to this very small, ornate silver key. This key opens to the door to a room you must not enter, no matter what. Do you understand? And he looks at you expectantly. And he hands his key to the Virgin.
I think she would nod and look at him with her big eyes and say, I understand.
With your answer, he kisses you again, this time on your cheek, very gently. This caring man that you believe him to be. And he says, I will return in 6 weeks. Don't worry, you won't be lonely. And he takes his leave, leaving you alone in this house. What will you do?
Open the door immediately. No.
So as you walked in, you noticed that there were a couple of wings that you could explore. There was a north wing, a west wing, east wing, and a south wing.
Okay. Head towards the south wing first, I would think.
Yeah, you, the Virgin, you do have the ring first, and so you have different moves in this game. What happens is that because you got the key ring first, you have this ring. You can pass it after certain things you do, but because you have the ring first, you do get to sort of pick where you go. But all the other sisters, you can discuss where you go first. And as this happens, Martine comes over to you and says, Madam, is there anything I can help you with?
Which way to the south wing? I'd like to go explore my new home.
Sort of looks you up and down again. And she looks at you and without waiting or giving you an explanation, just sort of walks out of the dining room as if she's leading you.
Oh, okay. I follow.
Yeah, and she you see her sort of the end of her dress swish as she is going up this large grand staircase.
Yeah, I follow her up the staircase as well. See where she's going.
And as you go up the staircase, you see it's not as ornate and clean as it was on the outside. There, as you look around, it is very dark. There are a couple of lanterns that line the hallway, but spider webs catch out of the corner of your eyes, and dust lines the floors, and it's just not what you thought this estate would be. And you had seen all these servants outside, but it doesn't seem as if they're doing whatever job Bluebeard had hired them to. And she leads you to this hallway of doors, what you assume is the south wing. And down the hallway, there are various marble statues in just different poses. Not dressed or anything, they just seem to be generic bodies. But the longer you look and look away and look back, they seem to change pose every time into more what you would consider, especially as the Virgin, obscene poses. Their hands in different places each time.
Okay. So what rooms are along here? Are there how many?
You're not sure. So when you were exploring this hallway, as the bride, each aspect, this would be you first, your key ring will determine which room you have. You will pick a key, you will describe what this key looks like, and we will go from there.
Okay.
Well, you have Martine to guide you into these rooms at the moment.
Okay.
And you can, of course, discuss with your sisters what key to pick, what they think, what their opinion is, and go from there.
Okay. So, sisters, what keys do we think are on this key ring for this wing?
How many doors were in this wing? Do we know?
You can make out 3 distinct doors on this wing.
Okay.
Are there any like larger, less ornate keys on this ring? Or
The only less ornate key is the small silver one that Bluebeard told you not to use.
okay.
Yeah, so we're picking just any key right now. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should use the most extravagant, like the most ornate, the most
I like it.
biggest, the fanciest.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. So as you go through this key ring, and the Virgin picks out a key, describe to me what this key looks like.
So biggest, most ornate, yeah. I imagine it's kind of like big chunky key. Like I'm thinking Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone, the one that's flying around, that big old one. But like kind of silver, and it's got like, I don't know, kind of really intricate vines and roses entwined on it. Like it's clearly been quite meticulously crafted and is pretty dang ornate and fancy.
Okay. So Martine looks at the key that you've chosen, and her eyebrow rises, and she says, "Well, I wasn't sure you would pick that key so early. That's the key to your master bedroom." And she sort of not so gently pushes you toward this door that, as you look at it, this door is bigger than the rest in this hallway. It's 2 large redwood double doors, and they're embedded with these vines that creep along. And you notice that these vines make up the shape of a pomegranate that's split in half, with rubies that are dotted along, that make up the seeds that fall from this pomegranate. And as you slip the key into the lock, it almost sounds like the actual sound of the pomegranate splitting. As you go inside, Martine, you notice that she doesn't walk inside with you at first, but the further you get in, she follows behind and closes the door. And in front of you is this large, oversized bedroom, and it contains this bed that's low to the ground, and it's very wide. And it's this bed that's made up with red satin sheets and furs that cover it, and red satin drapes that flutter from the ceiling that surround it. And there's a vanity mirror that stands against one wall. And you notice that there's a mirror also on the other wall. Not with a vanity, though. This one seems to be just a standing freeform mirror. There's a bowl of fruit that sits on another redwood table at the end of the bed. There are glass lamps around the room in the shape of candelabras. And there is patterned ivory wallpaper everywhere. And there is, in the corner, a matching statue to the ones you saw in the hallway in beautiful marble. And it's a woman standing there with what looks like a sheet pulled up over her body, very modestly covering up what you assume is her nude body. Her hair covers her face. You can't really make it out. And There is also what seems to be a journal on the nightstand beside the bed. And Martine looks at you and says, well, is there anything I can help you with, madam? You are the lady of the house now.
I want to go look at that journal.
All right. So there are moves that you can make that don't require you to do anything. So right now, only the virgin can make a ring move, but there are maiden moves that you can make that you don't have to do anything. So you can do investigate a mysterious object.
Yes.
You don't have to roll for this. Okay. So when you investigate a mysterious object, you can ask 2 questions. And I have to honestly answer you. It doesn't have to be all the information, but what I give you is completely honest.
Whose item is this?
You pick this journal up as you're looking at it. Martine sort of tenses for a moment, but you ignore it and you glance through the journal, and you notice quickly that this is your husband's journal.
What about this journal is odd or uncanny?
As you continue to look through the journal, you notice that there are certain parts marked with what you assume to be different colored ribbons. But as you continue to flip and you notice these ribbons more and more, you notice they're different colors of hair, strands of hair. Some are curly, some are straight, some are red, some are blonde. It's all different colors of hair.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Oh my God.
Super creepy.
It's super creepy.
I think the bride puts very gently closes the journal and puts it back where it was and tries to look at literally anything else.
Can the bride kind of look away from the statue and then turn back and see if it moves like the others?
Yeah, of course.
Does it move?
As you look away, everything seems normal for a moment. And when you do look back, you notice that the statue, the hair that was in the statue's face has moved. And you notice very quickly that this statue's face is the face of Martine, the servant, the head servant that is in the room with you.
Okay, that's mysterious. Does anyone else have anything they want to investigate in here?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I've already done something, so.
I was gonna say, I'm interested in that painting that is of the person. It was a painting, right? The one of the person covered with a sheet with their
That's
hair.
the statue.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, statue.
And I think that takes care of it.
Now you can further investigate it. You can take stock of a situation.
Okay.
Yeah, anything like that. Because you may not have the ring, but there are things you can do as the maiden. And Sophie, you have. There's really nothing you would need to use your ring move for right now, unless you wanted to give up your ring. But yeah, there are still things that you guys can do as your maiden moves.
You said there was two
Why?
mirrors, right?
Yeah, there was a mirror at a vanity, so
Yep.
sort of a short mirror, and then there was like a wall mirror
Okay.
on the other side of the room.
For the statue, investigate a mysterious object. What memories does this item hold?
All right. As you go up to the statue, what are you specifically doing to the statue? Are you just looking at it?
I think looking at it, stepping around it, and looking at it from other angles and stuff.
Okay. As you look at the statue and sort of investigate it, all of you sort of get this flashback in your mind of another night, another wedding night. And the moment that you do this, Animus, this room fills with anger. And you feel this anger. If it were possible, it's as if you could smell and taste the anger washes over you. And it is a memory of something happening in this room that cannot be washed away. And you get one more question.
Why does Bluebeard keep this item?
As you look at this item again and look away, you notice that the sheet has dropped. And across the stomach is carved in the word regret. And it is because Bluebeard seems to regret whatever has happened.
Is there any like reaction from Martine? Because I'm assuming she sees the bride looking at the statue.
Martine is standing there with her arms crossed, staring at the bride, and it's like the anger has overtaken her as well. She has grown white as a sheet, almost as white as that statue.
Can I use the care for someone move?
Yes, you may.
To bridle the torment. Does my face move, the lily, come into effect here?
I believe it can. Yes, let me read it real quick. Yes. So you actually don't have to be sincere with her, I believe.
Yeah.
It can be sort of a they don't have to you don't have to prove anything to her. Yeah, so how are you going to care for her?
So it says show her something beautiful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to wonder how I can weave that into.
Now it can be the most vague. It can be anything that you can fit into the narrative.
Okay. Something beautiful. I'm wondering. Oh. So that just seems so bizarre to me. To care for someone, to show them something beautiful is yeah.
It can. This is sort of meta, but it can be yourself. You are the virgin. You are
true.
noted. You are noted as the beautiful one.
I'm just wondering if there's like a wardrobe with dresses, and I can like entice her to
sure.
look at the pretty dresses with me.
Yeah, this is your master bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's nothing like bonding over clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. So describe what that looks like.
So I imagine the bride kind of almost waltzing over to the nearest wardrobe and opening it, and I assume there's going to be dresses in there, either hers or ones that have been bought for her. And she kind of picks them out and like kind of shows one to Martine, like twirling it around, saying, you know, what do you think of this one? Do you think this suits me? Do you like it? Like, trying to include her.
Yeah, Martine looks at you, and for a moment you see the color come back to her face and her arms uncross, and she reaches out and touches the fine fabric of your dress, and you hear her under her breaths say, "These are so much nicer than before."
Than before?
She's sort of, he's had many brides before you.
I assume the bride would have known that, but yeah. I think she kind of nods, just silent nodding.
Each bride just gets much nicer things. And she sort of smirks at you.
Does the statue still look like Martine?
It does, yes. But you guys have noticed that either Martine hasn't noticed that it looks like her, or she is being willfully ignorant of it.
Mm-hmm. I go over to the bowl of fruit, and I take like a strawberry or something, and I say, imagine fresh fruit in your own bedroom, and I take a bite out of it, looking directly into her eyes. And I want to use my move, the spider, to trap her with my feminine wiles by eating fruit sexually.
Works every time.
I love it.
You know, the old eating food sexually trope.
Such a good one, though.
So let me see.
But it's like the least sexy fruit. It's like an apple. You're
I don't know. There's a gif of like Natalie Dormer.
That's true.
Apple.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
She watches you, and her eyes grow wide, and you can sort of feel her tension for a moment, and she looks away from the virgin, looks at you. You see her sort of tremble for a second. She says, I remember the type of fruit his wife before you liked. And she sort of looks down at the floor. I remember the last thing she ate. It was something he brought to her. She shakes her head. She had such a penchant for, what was it? I can't remember the flavor exactly, but it was soup. He would always bring it to her at night. She just kept getting sicker and sicker. And she sort of trails off. And if you would like to ask a follow-up question, you as the fatal, it won't be a whole bride trauma. You as the fatal can mark one trauma.
Mark one trauma. Mm-hmm. No, I think it's pretty early for trauma right now.
Martine just sort of looks back at the dress, doesn't follow up on what she's saying. You can tell she's sort of trailing off with whatever memories she has.
So is it just there's 2 mirrors in the room as well? Is there anything mysterious about them?
You can investigate an object if you'd like.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you get to ask me 2 questions.
Yep, just gonna scroll down. I was on them and then I moved off.
They're also in handouts if that's easier for you on the roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I uploaded so much stuff.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh. What about this item is odd or uncanny?
So as you go to look at this mirror, are you looking at the long one or the vanity one?
I mentioned the long one.
Okay. As you go to look at this long mirror, you notice that it gives the reflection of the vanity mirror in it. And as you look longer and longer, you see in this vanity mirror your husband, Bluebeard, embracing what looks like sort of the personified human likeness of this statue. She still looks like a statue. It is still, marbled skin, this satin sheet wrapped around her body. He's embracing her, touching her, but there's no face. It's completely blank.
Okay.
And you can ask one more question.
Whose item is this? Is it his?
This is an old wives' item.
Okay.
This is specifically the wife before you's item. And the reason you can tell that is because as you go to look at it, the silver pieces of the silver brush and comb and mirror that lay out on the vanity are engraved with the initials AB.
AB.
And your best friend Mary had talked about his previous wife's name being Alyssa.
Okay. And this is the same one that he brought soup to and got sicker and sicker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a lot relating to that wife in this room.
Which mirror was this? This tall standing mirror or the one on the vanity?
She had looked at this tall standing one and saw the reflection of Bluebeard and this statue woman, but she saw the vanity pieces, the brush and everything on the vanity.
Got it. I would also like to investigate a mysterious object.
Yes, tell me what you would like to investigate.
The vanity itself.
Okay. Yeah, ask me 2 questions.
What about this item is odd or uncanny?
So as you look at the vanity, you look in the mirror, you see the reflection of a large mirror behind you. But instead of seeing what the Virgin had seen, you see as Bluebeard hands a bowl of soup to this woman, this statue woman. You see as she eats it, you see as she bends over, violently begins to throw up, violently begins to, empty the contents of her stomach. You see as she begins to fall over, loses any kind of control of her body, but you see her reach out for her husband, your husband now, and you watch as he walks away.
Dope. Okay.
Great.
I'm in. Fuck me up, fam. Um, what memories does this item hold?
You begin to look through the drawers, looking for anything you can find, sort of to erase what you've just seen. And you find carved into the wood of one drawer underneath jewelry left there maybe for you from your new husband. You're not really sure. You just find carved into the wood the word poison.
Okay. Cool. So I will. I'm going to jump in here and step on your toes a little bit, Katie, because I think we missed a slight spot on this. For those of you who haven't played the game before, to leave the room, you have to do a thing.
I was waiting to see
Oh,
if
okay.
anyone wanted to
Yeah,
leave.
yeah.
And I was going to explain it to them. Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
if anyone knew that we were trapped in the room until you do something.
Yeah. I know Sophie had sort of mentioned earlier that you might want to leave, and
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
if anyone wanted to elaborate on that, I was going to explain it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And I think only she can propose a.
Yeah, only
Okay.
the one with the ring can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've seen all there is to see in this room.
So if you want to leave,
Mhm.
only the sister with the ring can propose that they leave because you were the one with the direct control of the sister. So the exit moves are escape without proposing the truth or propose the truth about a room. So escape when you attempt to escape without giving a truth, I will offer you a hard bargain or an ugly truth. If you pay the price, you escape. You can also propose a truth. You detail what you think happened to the room, to whom, and why. Next, you describe the token you take that supports your interpretation. If it's a token of faithfulness, you're closer to proving that you trust your husband, and all of you can heal one trauma as the bride, the group. If it is a token of disloyalty, you're closer to proving that you have suspicions, and all of you mark one trauma.
Oh. Crumbs, okay, right. The truth I was going to propose was that, yeah, Bluebeard poisoned his last wife and left her to die alone, basically. And the item I'll take that supports that is there's still a comb with her initials on, or a brush.
Yeah, there's brush and there's like silver, you know, things there on the vanity that has her initials on them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a comb with her initials on it then.
All right. And what token are you taking? I'm assuming disloyalty.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen, I think, yeah, he's literally poisoned his wife, his old wife.
All the medicine.
Yeah. Too much of a good thing, maybe. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say. What is everyone else?
Yeah, seems pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
All right.
And then because this is the bride as a whole taking it, I presume it does not trigger the shield move, which says when one of your sisters marks trauma.
Right.
Yeah, that is only a one. If one single sister takes a trauma, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone take a trauma,
Okay.
and
How many traumas do we have? Is it 5?
it's
5
5.
total.
Yeah. So as you look around this room and you sort of put this item away, Martine doesn't say anything. She doesn't bring it up, but you do notice sort of a change in her demeanor. But she doesn't say anything, and she looks at you. Is there anything else I can do for you, madam? I think I might need to take care of other things in the estate, if you don't mind. You seem pretty capable of taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay exploring on my own if you have other things to do.
Yeah, as she leads you out of the room, you see her close it, and you hear it lock automatically behind you.
Okay.
And you are back in this hallway, and you notice that once again these statues have changed shape. You notice that some of them have actually grown closer together, and the obscene shapes have sort of taken hold of each other. And unless you can voluntarily give up the ring, Sophie, but if not, you still have control of the sister. If you do give up the ring, if you pass it, you have to pass it to someone who has not played this round, and you are immune to trauma until that sister passes the ring if you give it up voluntarily.
Yeah, I was thinking of giving up voluntarily anyway after that room. Yeah, so who wants it? Because no one else has played this round yet.
Or you can pick someone and you just
you
get them in trouble.
You get to pick.
Someone.
Yeah, you
All
get to
right,
pick.
cool. How about you, Lauren?
Oh, okay.
You up for the ring?
Sure, I'll take it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. So the ring goes to the Fatah, and you can continue to stay in this wing. There's 2 other rooms you can investigate, or you can go somewhere else. It's up to you.
What do you folks think?
I don't know. Maybe one more room in this swing first.
Okay.
Sure. I'm down for that.
And so we describe the key.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I described the first key, so I think somebody else should describe the second key.
Sophie described the first key.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right, you said ornate.
I
But...
I said I wanted the biggest key.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, let's go for the smallest key. And I think it's very fine. Like the like loop part of it has very fine, like kind of filigree swirls inside of it. And instead of just one row of jagged teeth, it's actually the teeth are all sticking out on all different sides of the cylinder.
Okay. You walk further down this hallway, and it grows darker as you continue down. You're sure that these statues are following you, but you can't catch them as they do, even though you continue to look over your shoulders. But you go to the door that matches the teeth on this key, and you look at it, and the door is very worn, and you can tell it was once white, but the paint on it is cracked, and the filigree on one side has sort of been chipped away, and there's a rusty doorknob that looks as if it was once decorated and engraved with beautiful loops of patterns, but it's sort of decayed, and even as you touch it, it sort of flakes off onto your hand. But you put the key in and turn, and it opens in front of you, and you see this is the water closet, and the smell hits you, this rotten smell, and the only reason you don't throw up is because you are terrified that more of this scent will enter your body if you open your mouth. It's miserable. The bathtub is abandoned. The toilet is abandoned. They're both dirty, and you're not sure with what. There is a solitary bulb above the mirror, and it's flickering, just not really in a pattern, and it's almost unnerving that you can't find a pattern in it. And it has that sort of ringing sound, and it almost makes the whole situation, it makes you almost sicker. And that it could shut down at any moment and leave you in the dark. In front of you, the mirror is shattered, and there's only one piece that remains from the corner, jutting up with a very sharp edge, and it shows your reflection, but it's very dirty. And as you look at yourself, you can see the look on your face that you just look disgusted by this situation. And there is a sink below it. It's filled with dirty, brown, murky liquid. You're not sure if it's from water that's rusted. You don't want to know really what kind of liquid this is. And as you look around, out of place, completely, you're not sure how this got here, a beautiful, completely white, clean hand towel hangs on on the rod there above the toilet, with the initial B monogrammed in it in beautiful gold filigree. And there is a book sitting on top of the toilet. It is it's gold and gilded, and the cover has been ripped off.
I would like to shiver from fear.
Oh, yes. All right.
And so the thing that I am most afraid will happen is that I find something dead in the bathtub. Like an animal or I don't know, something. Something's dead in there.
Okay.
And you get to tell me how it's worse.
Okay.
Fuck me up. Let's do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where on this stream?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're fine.
A little late. I mean, I've been describing some pretty adult stuff, so I think you're okay.
You're good.
Yeah, just burn out it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. As you go to look in the bathtub, you sort of see this, you see this water that's filled up to the edge. And you feel this fear rise above you. So much so that you freeze. You don't know what's in this water. You've already experienced fear in one room, and you don't know how to react immediately. But as you look at the water, you see something bubble up to the surface. And when this happens, you notice that this water, or this liquid, is not water. It's thick. It's so thick. And as it bubbles up, it continues to bubble. The smell of copper hits your nose. And it's almost a smell that overpowers the sickening smell in this room. And as it bubbles up and bubbles up, you see this pale leg, almost stained from this red, brownish liquid, appear. Nothing else, just this pale leg stick out, first the toes, then the shin, then a little bit of the leg. And you hear, just in the back of your mind, I was never clean enough. And I need you to either keep the ring and choose two of these options, or pass the ring and choose one. Can infect you with its perversion. It will take you in its clutches, or it will speak to you and you'll take one. It will speak to you further, and you'll take one trauma, just you.
I will keep the ring. And it infects me with its perversion, because I don't know what that means and I want to know what that means. And it.
Yeah, you're keeping the ring.
Yeah, I'm
So
keeping
you just
it.
pick one. Yeah, you just pick one.
Oh, I just pick one?
Yeah. If you pass,
It says
oh
keep
no,
the ring
it's
and
two.
choose
Sorry, I
two,
read
yeah.
it wrong. I'm sorry. That's me.
Yeah, and it speaks to me.
Okay.
I'll mark another trauma.
Awesome. Okay, so as you continue to look, you see this leg, and you hear this whispering in your mind, and you bend further down against whatever is in your mind, probably telling you not to. And as you bend down, you begin to see this arm. You begin to see another arm. You see another leg. You see fingers, but you're not seeing a torso or a face. You're just seeing these limbs. And they move almost unnaturally, very slow, almost as if everything is in slow motion. And you hear, I was just never clean. He wanted someone clean, and it was my fault. I just loved another. And I couldn't be clean. I just couldn't be clean enough, and I dirtied myself, and I dirtied everything. And you hear this crying in the back of your mind, and it's a wailing sob. And as you hear this crying, you want more than anything to wash yourself with this blood, this coppery, dirty liquid, this thick, bubbling liquid in this bath. You need to touch it. You need to be clean.
Can I not do that? Or do I have to?
You technically don't have to, but
Okay.
that is how it is. That is its perversion.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it is just something you don't have to. That's something you're going to.
That I want. Okay.
Exactly. That is your inner perversion. But yeah, you don't have to do it.
Yeah. I think
that would be uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
Do I have to just no?
No, but that is just a constant thought in the Fatal's mind, is you want to be clean.
Okay.
You don't have to, but you can
But
if you want to.
You want to.
Yeah, I think she is having a hard time. She wants to be clean, but she knows that this blood is not clean. And so she's kind of reaching out towards it, but hesitating at just at the surface.
All right. And you watch as these these limbs just begin to move, still so slow. And they reach out to you, but they just can't. They're not long enough. Even though you've gotten closer to the back, they're still they just can't get a hold on you.
Lauren, you can always cry out for help.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay for now.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's not doing anything. It's not my. It's just. I don't know. Somebody else do something. I've done a lot of things.
Yeah, you know what? I will investigate something. There's the book, the towel, the creepy bathtub. I want to investigate the shattered mirror.
All right. Yeah, give me some questions.
2 questions. What memories does this item hold? I want to know why it's shattered.
All right. As you go to the mirror, you look at it and you get the impression that the mirror was shattered out of distress. And it has something to do with this tub of blood, not in a bad way. Whoever was in the tub did not like what they saw in the mirror. They didn't want to see themselves anymore.
Okay. And why did he keep the item?
Bluebeard kept the item to remind him of who he loved.
Okay. Dope. All right. Who's next?
I would like to investigate the book. The tattered book, was it?
Yeah. So as you look at the book, give me some questions.
Alrighty. Oh, got that. So, yeah, it's. Why did he keep that item?
All right. Yeah. Are you? What are you doing? Are you looking through it? Oh.
Yeah, I'll start with the cover and then do what I do in real life, which is look at the cover, look at the back, and then flick through the first 2 pages.
Yeah. So as you look at it, you notice that the cover has been ripped off.
Okay.
And you look through it and you sort of see, like, at the top, you do distinguish the name of the author, and you notice that it's a pillow book. It's the kind of book that women read, like, for secrets about. It's sort of like Cosmo, like it's about secrets about, like, sex and scandalous subjects, which.
So it's like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, it sort of makes you blush because that's not the sort of thing, as the virgin that you are used to.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, why has he kept that then?
It also reminds him of his old lover. It reminds him of times with her.
Okay. Would I, like, so if I said whose item is this, would I be able to know which lover?
Yeah, I can give you that. This is one of the first wives.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And so as you open the book, you see that every page has been covered with this very, very thick ink. And it's one word over and over and over again. And this word is filthy. And as you look at it in your hands, you see that your hands are now covered in ink with this word going up your arms. And as you try to, get this word off. You're rubbing it off, seeing this. You now realize that it is coming out of your skin.
Oh shit. Can I take stock of the situation?
Yes, you may. Let me, pull that up. Yeah, ask me one of those questions.
I was gonna say, what stalks the bride from the shadows? Because this doesn't seem natural.
Yeah, so what stalks you from the shadows is the need to this is a horror. This book is a horror.
Okay.
And it is the need to get this ink off, because this is a horror you need to get rid of.
Okay. I don't have the ring, I'm afraid, then.
Yeah. I want to caress that horror because it's a dirty book and I'm
It's a dirty, dirty book.
It is literally a dirty book.
literally and figuratively dirty.
Wow.
Dirty, dirty.
Katie's having too much fun with
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun. Yeah, so when you caress a horror, you roll plus blood.
Okay.
On a hit, the horror is swayed by your stroke. You direct what was intended for you, so for the virgin, it'll go to another victim in the house. And on a 7 to 9, it will shift its attention, but only if you participate on it.
Okay. So dice. Stats. Rolling. Okay. Yeah, and I think I want to flip through the book to kind of like, as much as I am looking like that's filthy written, like I'm trying to see what's beyond the word, or like beyond the ink.
And as you look at the virgin, she hasn't realized it yet, or something. You begin to notice that ink is beginning to come out of her ears and her eyes and her mouth. This thick, dark ink.
Crumbs.
So a 9. It will shift its attention, but you have to give it some way. You have to participate in some way. So give me how that would look in the narrative. And like I said, it can, you can make this work in any way.
Yeah.
It's not really, it's not that specific.
I think I take the clean white towel and I dip it in the blood and I start to try and wash the ink off of the virgin, if that's cool with you, Sophie.
Yeah.
What other choice?
Whatever, yeah.
As you do this, Virgin, you see the Fatals sort of look around for a moment for what to do, and you watch as she takes this pristine towel, dips it in this bathtub full of this thick blood, and sort of comes toward you and wipes it along your face, that you've tasted this ink, you're it's all over you, and it's almost as if it ends immediately, and all of you, all aspects, can hear the word clean repeating in the back of your mind. Clean, 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 clean. And this ink ends.
God. So it doesn't shift to me, I'm just involved in getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, it's just some other random servant in the house.
Oh.
You may or may not find out who it
Yeah.
is.
Get wrecked, random person.
Who cares about them?
I'm ready to leave.
Mhm.
If y'all are ready to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm covered in blood. I'm ready to go. Yep.
Yeah. So your exit moves.
Yeah.
You can escape or you can propose a truth.
I'm gonna straight up escape. This room is too much.
Awesome. Okay, so when you attempt to escape, I will offer you a hard bargain or an ugly truth. So what's going to happen is you are going to, as you try to go to the door, you're going to notice that the doorknob has turned to something that's similar to this broken glass from the mirror. And you're going to hear in the back of your mind, you have to be clean too. He'll love you if you're clean. And you know that you cannot get out of here without something given. So if your way is blocked, you can cry out for help, care for someone, or dirty yourself with violence. You can make a move.
But so I have to give something up.
That is the voice that you hear in the back of your mind. Yes. And like you notice that this doorknob has somehow changed to
broken
the
glass.
shattered glass from the mirror. Yes.
I'm going to still turn it and cut up my hands, escaping.
All right. You do that. You sort of slice your hand, and as you do, the doorknob turns normal. You take one trauma, but the door opens, and
Do we all take one trauma, or just,
no, just you.
just me? Okay.
You're hurting yourself. But you are able to escape. The door opens freely, and as you hear no more voices, you get out, free to go.
This is your fault for not asking someone else for help.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, you mark one less trauma.
Excellent.
Goodbye.
Nice.
What?
I thought that was just Dave criticizing
Yeah.
Lauren.
I forgot that was his move, and I was like, wow, I just get real sassy in here
I
all of a
know,
sudden.
I was like, shit.
And Lauren, the fatal believed.
Yes.
That is
Oh,
damn.
I mean, I knew it was.
Once you kick her while she's down.
I know, I forgot that was a move, and I was like, oh, okay.
Thank you, Lauren.
Dave's
I
mostly
gotcha.
quiet, and then he just delivers the sass hard. was like,
I
oh,
know,
wow.
right?
Damn.
Jeez.
I mean, whether it was a move or not.
I mean, if that's what you want to think.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man. Awesome.
So would you like to pass the ring or keep the ring?
Yes, I would. I would like to pass the ring to the Animus. Because if it's my fault, why don't you do something better?
Okay.
Well, you can do it.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay,
birds.
watch me fail. Let us go, if it's okay with you, to a new wing, perhaps? If the south side of the house is real scary, maybe the north side won't be. Right,
Aw,
Katie?
Sweet summertime.
Right, Katie? Katie?
Sweet, sweet angel.
I've heard that as well.
So without Martine's help, you sort of wander around for a bit. And as you pass a window, you see that the sun is up, which is strange because as you had dinner, the sun was down. It was night. Now it seems like it's morning, and you find it so strange because in your mind, maybe a couple of hours have passed, if that. But the sun is rising and it's a beautiful sunrise. But you continue down these stairs, and it's sort of back in the area of the foyer of where you were led into the house, but you go deeper down this hallway. And as you do, it's dark. There are low lights that are on the wall, and there are floor-length paintings that line the walls. And you notice as you look at them that they're all of your husband in various poses, very regal looking. And you notice they're of different sort of eras. They're of him aging over the years from a young man into the man he is now. But as you go deeper down this hallway, they seem to be fading. But that's all you see. And there are various doors that line this hallway. About 5.
What key do you guys want to pick for this hallway? Maybe a more middle of the road one?
Sure, that seems like the safest bet.
Oh, you
Mhm.
sweet summer children. Yeah, so Animus, you pick a key. Tell me what that key looks like.
I think this one is a uh let's go with a bronze colored key that has I don't know what the actual like jagged edge things for a key are called, but that on both sides.
Okay.
And go to the door that accompanies that one.
All right. Animus, you walk up to this door, and it's a cold bronze door. So cold that as you get close to it, you can feel the cold radiating off of it, actually. And it's exquisitely decorated with these cogs. But you can tell it's been neglected for a very long time. But in the upper section, it's decorated with sort of skeletal hands. But at the bottom, you see this sort of visage of one woman holding another, like one woman's bent over and another's holding, and she's holding another up on her back, sort of supporting her. And as you put the key into the lock, which is in the very middle of the door, you turn it and the cogs all turn in unison, and the door opens up. And you walk into what looks like an abandoned art gallery. And along the wall, there are numerous canvases hung, both sides. And as you look up, you notice that this ceiling is much higher than the hallway. And you're back on the first floor, and you can't really wrap your head around how this is possible. But, you've seen stranger things in this house. But this room is barely illuminated by lights that hang over these paintings. And even as you walk in from afar, you see a very thick layer of dust over these pictures. At one time, they were probably bright and lively and colorful, but now they're not. And it smells of the wax of the candles and the oil that was used to make these paintings. And it even smells of chemical paint thinner, as if someone was painting before. And there is a candle on the floor that draws your attention. As you walk, you see these lively sculptures that's made from the same bronze of the door that shows these women in various stages of life. And you notice that it is the same woman. And they're so lifelike. They're almost as if at any moment they could walk around with you. But in the center of the gallery, there is this. Was that thunder?
Yeah, there's a huge
Holy
friggin'
cow.
thunderstorm happening right now, and it's
Oh my god.
Jeez.
I don't know, like my windows are closed and stuff, so I don't even know how it works.
Oh shit.
It's just for
It adds to atmosphere.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all atmosphere.
The first like thunderclap happened when you were like skeletal hands, and it was like
Oh my god. In the center of the gallery, there is this unfinished sculpture of this big skeletal hand. And beside it, there is a stand that holds a picture of you don't know what it is because it's covered by a stained blanket.
I'm going to go ahead and say, parodying the words of Brian David Gilbert, nothing bad ever happened in this room.
Nothing bad.
I am going to go towards the stained blanket and see what is underneath it if possible.
So when you touch the blanket, it feels very greasy. But it's heavy and it's very well over it, and it's not coming off easily. Are you trying to pull it off?
If it doesn't come off easily, yeah.
Okay, so as you're pulling it off, it reveals this painting of an older woman, much older than you, probably about 20 years older than you. And as you look at it, it's more vivid than the rest of these paintings. The colors are bright. You're not sure if this was painted recently or if this painting has just been well taken care of. And her eyes and her features of her face look so realistic. And as you get closer, you realize that the skin and the eyes are in fact real, and they are preserved so well. And as you get closer and closer, you see her lips turn up into a smile, her eyes open wider. And
shiver from fear for sure.
yes, I love it. Yeah, so tell me what you were most afraid will happen.
That she will move and grab me.
So
Tell me how it's worse than that.
you do in fact see all of a sudden, as if the perspective shifts on the painting, it backs up and she rises from what looks like a chair sitting there. And all of you see from behind one of these statues of these bronze women, this same woman in this painting step out. And she speaks in this voice. I was the best wife, the best one ever. And she lunges toward you, Animus. Her fingers, long emaciated nails, reaching toward your face.
Would you call them skeletal hands?
She is an emaciated body with a beautiful face. So yeah, the rest of her body sort of looks skeletal. And she is grabbing toward your face as if she wants it. So are you going to keep your ring or pass the ring?
Let's see.
If you keep it, you will choose 2 Shiver from Fear options. If you pass it, you will only choose 1.
I will pass it to the witch and have it speaks to you. Take 1 trauma, just you, sister.
Okay. Take your trauma. Just you. As she grabs for your face, her nails rip down the sides of your face. You feel the blood rush down your face. Warm, fresh blood. And she says, "You'll never, ever live up to what I did. You'll never be enough." And you take another trauma.
Ooh,
as the pain rushes through your body. And witch, you are now in control.
Man, I don't know who has children yelling in the background, but 10 out of 10 adding to the ambiance. You got thunder on one side, creepy children on the other side. It's
I
good.
think that might be the park outside
Yeah.
my window.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I was
close
thinking it's
my
probably
window.
No.
Sophie because I know she has a park next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I could hear is like very tiny child voices, and I was like, "That's not terrifying at all. We're fine.
mean,
Everything's fine."
Lucky the baby isn't crying on the balcony next door again. That was...
Was it the baby or was it Josh?
Both?
I'd like to
Good
take stock of the situation, if that's all right.
Sure.
I want to know what this place demands of the bride.
Yeah, so this place demands I think the best way to describe it would be this place demands that the bride admit she is not good enough. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Admit that or either admit that she's not good enough or prove that she is. That option. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this Hara is backing away, but you can tell that she is. It won't be long before she might attack again. She does not look happy. You see her sort of looking at the blood on her long fingernails, moving her hands back and forth, and she's running it along her own face.
Dope. I'm gonna either do something awesome or mess things up. So I'm gonna caress the shit out of that.
Que no los dos, Mike.
Yeah, I literally can't do both. Well, I mean, I guess it's dope either way. I am for sure gonna caress the shit out of that horror.
Yes, caress it.
Yeah. Wait, don't we have an extra +1 somewhere from something?
You
Yeah.
all have a +1.
Oh, I should have used that. It would have been a 10. Damn it. Oh well. I'll
Yeah.
remember.
I'm gonna use that.
in
This is
future.
cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna use that extra +1, and I'm gonna caress this horror. And as it's like pulling its hands away from the bride's face, I reach up and touch one of the hands as it's passing by, and I whisper, "You were the best, but now I'm here." Shit!
Oh no! Well,
I made things so much worse, guys.
oh my god! Oh
That
my
is
god.
a miss.
Yeah, that's true. That is a miss.
You already used your +1.
Yeah, I threw it on
Oh
there.
my God.
Yeah, that was just a bad time.
But you tried. and
You're
that's-
welcome, everyone.
Yay!
Trying is half the battle.
Succeeding is the other half.
Yeah.
As you do this, this Hara looks up at you, and this sickening smile comes onto her face, and this cackle runs through all of your body. It's almost enough to give you this migraine. It just goes deep into your brain, and she says, "He'll always remember me. He'll always want me." And she reaches out again and goes for your neck, and the nails don't go in. She sort of squeezes so tight that it leaves bruises, and you take a trauma, just the witch. And as she pulls,
This is your fault for trying to reach out.
No.
For trying to be connected to others.
do you
Do you accept or reject it?
yeah, do you accept or reject?
I reject it. I wasn't trying to connect with her. I was trying to exert my power over her.
That's fair.
Animus, you take a trauma.
Yep.
Oh
This
my
is
gosh.
Oh, that's how that works? Shit.
This is
Yeah.
going great, guys.
You're so traumatized.
Wait,
I am
how
full
are you?
traumatized.
You're at 4 trauma. Yeah, how is everyone on trauma?
I'm at 2.
No, one.
But
I'm at,
two.
I'm at 2.
I'm a good girl.
Ooh. Fun.
Oh, man.
So,
Oh, isn't the Animus immune to trauma since they had the ring last?
oh yeah,
No,
you were.
because you have to specifically choose the move given.
Yeah, it's only if you
Ah.
voluntarily pass it, then you're immune to trauma.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did
Darn.
it. They did a They had a that move.
Yeah. Ooh.
So as you feel this pressure around your neck, the horror backs up, and you watch as these bronze statues begin to move in sort of a machine-like quality, as if cogs are turning in them. You know, they're moving very slowly, and you hear them, this sort of low scream, as they're saying, "She was right, she's the best," just repeating this over and over again. And you hear her say, I was lost because he wanted more, but he'll never replace me. Never, ever, ever." And she goes for you again, witch.
Well, this is the end. No, I am going to. I'm going to dirty myself with violence.
Yes.
At least I'm going to attempt to. I'm not good at rolling dice, guys.
Oh my god.
We're very good at this game.
We're doing so good, guys. You can do it, yeah.
Yeah, as you try to fight her back, you're gonna take one more trauma as she does what she did to Animus, and she tries to sort of grab your face too, and her nails scratch down.
All
But
right.
as she does this and she looks at the blood on her hands, you see her smile, and she puts it up to her lips and she tastes it. And she says, "You'll never be worthy." And you watch as she goes back to the painting and she slathers the blood of both of you over it and over it. And as she does, and her image disappears from the painting, you watch as she fades out from from your view, just slowly disappearing from in front of you.
All right. Definitely, that's probably fine. Nothing to fear from that at all.
Yep.
Shit. What else in the room? The giant skeletal hand.
Yeah, there was that, and there were paintings on the wall, and there were the statues, which are still moving. These statues are moving in sort of like a mechanical fashion. These bronze statues, they're not talking anymore now that she's disappeared, and the painting is still there, but it's just covered with blood, and her image is gone. Like what you can see behind the blood, it's gone.
And you said on the table with the giant skeletal hand there was a picture frame?
That was the picture.
Oh, okay.
Beside
How
her.
big is that?
The picture is on a easel. Are you talking about the skeleton?
The skeleton.
Oh, it is like person size. It is huge. huge. Like it's probably actually a couple of feet bigger than you.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna use one of my face abilities, and I am essentially going to like take the blood that was all over my face and just more or less rub it in. And I'm going to use the medium. Spill your blood to commune with the horrors of the room. Mark 1 trauma, and the groundskeeper will share whisperings about what happened here and might ask you a question or two.
Are you at 4 trauma?
I am now at 4 trauma as well.
Oh, nice.
Wait, did you take trauma from when when she grabbed you as well?
Yes.
Okay, did I say anything for that?
Nope.
It's too late now. It's moved on.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to respond then. So as you commune with the horrors of this room, you hear, and only you hear this, you hear these statues talking to you. You hear them say, he killed so many, and she helped. She wanted them dead. She was so jealous of the love. But he loved her so much. And you hear these whispers over and over again, and you get the idea that these are statues of women, probably other wives that this woman, as a horror, had helped end. And as you look at them, you move closer to one of the statues, and you see, you just see the injuries on them. You see the same scratches that both you and the Animus had, even in the bronze.
I'm gonna shiver from fear. And the thing that I am most afraid will happen is that this horror comes back, overpowers me, and makes me one of the statues. And I'm gonna pass the ring to the Virgin.
Oh, dang it.
Get wrecked.
Cheers, buddy.
I'm here to help.
Best sister ever.
So as you're standing there looking at the statue, you're looking at the marks in her face. It's not the horror that reaches out to you. The statue, you watch as this face contorts in horror and fear and anger and every emotion, and you feel them as she goes through them. And she reaches out, and her face turns into this young face of the horror. But then it sort of, the bronze falls off at your feet, and as you look down, you have no time to react as she grabs your face and the nails scratch along the scratches you already had so deep. And what is the option that you choose?
It speaks to me, Mark 1 trauma.
You take the trauma.
Why are you doing this?
What?
Look, it's fun
this
if you shatter. I'm just gonna say that.
This is your fault for trying to investigate more.
Man, I didn't investigate. I reject your thing.
Okay.
I actually panicked. That was a,
That's fair.
yeah.
Both of you take a trauma.
Oh my
And
god.
now we're both at 5.
Both of you are gonna
Yep.
shatter. I'll explain shattering in a moment. So it speaks to you and it says, she was always She was the best. She'll be the end of all of us. And as you take this trauma, the sisters watch as the witch can't even cry out as it happens so suddenly, and her body falls to the floor. And you see, as the horror from before, the older woman with the young face appears again, but this time from behind the skeletal hand. And as she reaches out, completely ignores the rest of you. She reaches out and wraps her arms so gently around the witch. And the witch's body begins to grow old. But as she looks up, the horror looks up at the rest of you. She's now wearing the witch's face. And as the animus tries to, tries to tell the witch that she didn't need to do this, that this is idiotic, the animus feels her sister, her psyche shattering. And it's so strong for her that the animus can't control her own psyche. And as this happens, the other two of you watch as the animus falls to her knees, gripping her head. And she screams out, begging for her sister to come back. But nothing happens. And she also shatters. Now, when a sister shatters, I put the shattered sheet under character sheets in Roll20. Both of you will read this passage aloud together. But the fun part about shattering is that when another sister misses a roll or something happens, you are on my team now. You can help describe the horror, what happens to the bride. You can still help the bride. You are still your character, basically. You can still converse with them. But you are actually trying to go against the bride. You are trying to be a bad part of their psyche now. You are trying to turn them against their husband or make them believe their husband, whichever you want to do, whichever you think will turn them in the worst way. So if you two would like to read your passage together that you are now shattered.
Sure. You ready, Dave?
Yeah.
We are no longer
No
whole.
longer whole.
Our connection is severed. Our mind is fragmented. Our deepest fears are exposed. Our blood feeds the horrors, and I welcome them.
Yes, so the Virgin and the Fatal, you see your two sisters there in front of you, shattered.
Guess it's up to us now.
So,
Oh my god. And I have to ring, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Am I still in this horrible room? Can I cry out for help, please? I'm the Virgin. I'm like, I'm not made for this.
Yes, so you need to roll plus resilience.
Okay, so I have a +1 to my resilience.
And you still have you have your +1 that was donated earlier.
Okay, I think I'll use
But
that as well.
I am going to use my -1 and just make you it's just going to be a straight resilience roll.
Even if I use my +1 from earlier as well?
I'm using my my -1.
Okay,
on you, so I'm just taking your bonus away.
Okay, I've still got a +1 from my
Oh yeah,
stats.
you can use your
Cool.
stats. I'm just taking your bonus away.
Oh god. 2D +1. Okay.
Oh no, 2d6 plus 1.
So I am really good at forgetting numbers. This is a thing that happens.
I was like, oh my god.
Oh wow. I haven't had to type stuff in Roll20 for about 20 years.
That is still a fail. So,
Huzzah!
so how do you cry out? What do you do?
I imagine her like these cuts to kind of overwhelm her, and she falls to the ground, just sobbing hysterically, kind of like almost hugging herself, like trying to hold herself together because two of them are shattered, and I'm just like, there's only two of us left. But yeah.
As you
Just
cry
screams out.
out, there's just silence. Nobody comes.
It's really sad.
You and the Fatal are left alone in this room. It has grown quiet here. The horror from the painting is no longer, and as you look back at the painting, she's back, but with the witch's face, with your face. Crimson hair, big doe eyes, beautiful lips. You can see hands that are uncalloused as if they've never done a day of work in their life. It's like looking into a mirror.
Can I escape the room at least then?
Would you like to do an escape, or would you like to propose a truth?
I think we should.
Yeah, because you guys still
truth,
only
yeah.
have one token.
Yeah, let's propose a truth. Okay.
So remember, you detail what you think happened in the room, to whom. You describe the token that you take that supports your interpretation, and then you take a token of faithfulness, and you can heal one trauma, or a token of disloyalty, and you mark one trauma.
Okay. This one's been kind of.
And see, this is where our two shattered sisters, you can put in your opinion and mess with their psyches.
Yeah, so you would hear in your head, none of this was his fault. This was all her. This was all the first wife. She wanted everyone dead. He's innocent.
She tried to hurt us.
I am almost inclined to believe them. Actually.
Yeah,
Ah, damn.
that's what I was kind of going.
Yeah. Okay. Did you say there were smaller skeletal hands in here, or
It's just the one big.
big one? Okay.
skeleton. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can't take that then.
I mean, you could. I would allow you to. You and the
Just
Fatal
tear it
work
out.
together to break off a piece of it, or
Oh, okay.
take a painting or something. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Have you got like those little miniature paintings perhaps around?
Actually,
Miniatures?
I want to take. This is an idea,
Yeah.
but can we cut off the painting with our face, like cut off the part that's our face, because she's like, it was hers, but now it's ours. She's doing this to us.
Okay. Yeah. Are we allowed to do that? Can we like literally cut out that bit of painting?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's cut off her head.
Yeah. You find you're able to sort of rip at the painting, and you take this part of the face that is now your face, and you are saying that it is a token of faithfulness.
Mhm.
Because it was her face and now it's our face,
Yeah.
and she did this to us, not him.
All right, so both of you as the bride, you can heal one trauma.
Yay.
This will be a token of faithfulness, and I am marking it for you guys. Okay. So you go to leave this room, and you are back out. So did you want to keep your ring, or did you want to pass it?
I will pass it to the Fatal.
All right.
Leave him in the last room.
Yeah, you are back. You're still out in the north wing. Would you like to go into another room here or explore another wing?
I don't like this wing. This wing is bad. Let's go to a different wing.
Yeah, you have the West Wing and the East Wing. Popular TV show West Wing.
Yeah. I really like the West Wing, and nothing bad ever happens there.
Ain't nothing bad ever happened.
No.
Nothing bad.
Let's go to the East Wing.
All right. As you look around, you leave this hallway and you go up the opposite stairs, and you notice that these stairs begin sort of to go around slowly, and you go up and you find yourself in this hallway, and you find yourself in with this area that has a tall skylight above you, and it's raining heavy, so heavy here. The thunder is roaring and the lightning is striking down so strongly. But there are 4 doors here.
I think the key that we take is so old. It's green, like it's so oxidized that it is just a bright green, almost looks like it's made of jade key.
All right. You go up to this door, and this door is just as old as this key is, but there's something beautiful about it. And as you look at it, you can feel that it's sort of wet. You see this glint over this door. But it doesn't bother you. You don't get a bad feeling from it, surprisingly. But that's the only odd thing about it. And as you put the lock, you put the key in the lock, you notice that it's very strange because you had climbed stairs. You actually go down into a basement, and there's immaculate white wallpaper all around you, and it's decorated with beautiful flowers everywhere. But the lighting is very crude. It's sort of hard to see around. And as you walk in, it's flooded, and this water is very murky, and it's very dark, and it's not the kind of
No, Mike dismissed.
did we
I'm still here. I have no idea what that happened.
I don't want to keep going.
It looks like the stream is still
Okay.
happening.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay.
It's not the kind of water. It's not the kind of water, as long as Mike can hear me, then we're good. It's not the kind of water that was in the bathroom in the water closet. It's just like dirty water that maybe there's a leak somewhere. But it surrounds your calves. That was very weird.
Disappears.
And it surrounds your calf, and it dirties your beautiful dress that you had been wearing. And as you look around, there is a chimney that continues down into this large, immaculate fireplace. It's beautifully decorated with beautiful bricks, from probably far off. And beside the hearth, there's this huge taxidermy bear. And as you get closer, you notice the eyes are human, which is so strange. And there are, as you look, down in the murky waters, you notice that there's a shiny object that you can't exactly discern without looking, reaching down into the waters to find it. And there's an old, dirty piano with bent and deformed keys.
Sorry, what had eyes? Did the water have eyes?
No, the taxidermy bear had human eyes.
Human eyes. Cool, cool, cool. I love taxidermied animals. That's a fun fact about Lauren.
Love it.
It's just, they're like, whenever I go to like a museum of natural history, I'm just like, where's the taxidermy section? It's my favorite thing. Yeah. So I want to examine the bear.
Okay, so investigate an object.
Yeah. What memories does this item hold?
As you look at this bear, you reach out and sort of, run your hands through this fur, and it's actually a very well taken care of bear. You look into its eyes, these human eyes, which is so strange. You and the Virgin and the other two, you're still there in their minds. Get this image of Bluebeard standing behind this woman, beautiful blonde-haired woman, younger than you, sitting at the piano playing a beautiful song. It's not anything you've heard before. You assume that she had composed it herself. And you see as his hands reach to her shoulders, and there's a smile on Bluebeard's face, but it's the kind of smile from someone who doesn't want to share his toys. And his fingers dig into her shoulders, and for just a moment, her playing falters, but she picks up again as if nothing happened.
And we already know what's odd about it. It has human eyes.
Yeah, that's pretty odd.
Why did he keep it?
He kept this item because this wife and he killed this bear. They like to hunt together.
Hunt together, stay together.
It keeps every couple together.
Oh yeah.
She was very proficient in hunting.
Okay. Still doesn't quite explain why it has human eyes, but
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume they're her eyes and just not.
that's where, yeah.
just gonna say, like, just compartmentalize that
All animals have human eyes.
for a bit.
Don't your animals have human eyes?
So we've got this water in this room. Is there a source of this water, or just
You can't find a source. Like I'll tell you as the GM, you don't see a source. You can't.
okay?
Yeah, it just seems like maybe there was a leak somewhere. This water has been sitting here for a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
Really needs to take better care of his house. What are his servants even doing?
Yeah. Lazy. So what else was in this room? There was that hearth, did you say?
There was a chimney hearth. There was the bear. There was a object in the water that was shiny that you can't really discern. And then there was the piano with keys that were like turned and broken. Look, it can't be played.
Can I investigate the piano?
Yes, ask me some questions.
I guess we already know what kind of memories this holds.
Maybe there are
Who-
other memories though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What other memories are associated
For
with
the
piano?
for the piano.
Yeah.
As you look at the piano, you run your hands along the keys, and there is a memory that fills the both of you of violence, and you hear the beating of these keys. You know the sound when someone just beats their hands against the piano, that
Yeah.
sound. That's what you hear, and you feel violence. And as the both of you have this memory, both of you feel warm blood sinking, falling from your nose. That sound, yes.
Sorry, I'm
Thank
sorry,
you, Lord. Thank you.
Oh my god.
I love good Foley work.
Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Foley cow.
Sorry, it's right here.
No, it was.
Yeah, that's fair
I
enough.
was like, "Ooh, that gave me the creeps."
Yeah, I've got goosebumps.
and I think, no, that's fine. No, go ahead.
Okay. Whose item is this?
This is a bride's item.
Okay.
This is the bride that you had seen in the memory before. This is her item. This was a specific special gift from Bluebeard to her when they were married.
Okay. I think that's all I want to investigate about that one.
I don't know. I feel like this is. I mean, what else is there to embed there? So the piano.
There's the thing under the water.
There's the thing under the water.
You should investigate that.
Yeah, listen to the shattered psyche. Yeah.
Do you just hate me? I am your sister after all.
Why do you want to look at it? I don't want to go into that dirty water.
It's interesting. There's something there. Don't you want to know what it is?
I don't know. What do you think, Sophie? I kind of just like, let's go. Let's leave.
Yeah, I can already kind of piece together what happened in here. So I'm ready to leave. I am curious, but I don't want to stick my hands in that water.
Yeah. So I leave. And what do you think happened in this room?
You like to propose a truth?
Propose a truth, yeah. I think the truth is that he gives. I heard you cough.
Yeah, I heard you cough that.
I heard you cough.
Yay. The truth is that he's a very considerate gift giver. And I take one of the broken piano keys, and it's a token of faithfulness.
Are you just completely ignoring the bleeding nose bashing piano there, sister.
Fights happen. Doesn't mean that he's not a nice person. Every couple fights.
I'm not laughing at Katie's
Sorry.
reaction here.
Can you remind me? Was he bashing her into the piano?
You guys don't know.
We just this place makes you go mad, but it's not his fault. It's the other women.
It's the first bride.
Like the witch said, we're here now.
Oh dear.
We must save our lovely husband from the curse of this.
Okay, sister, but I am uneasy.
I am too. But we just need to be strong. We'll make it so he doesn't hurt us. We'll make him love us so much he won't want to.
And then nothing will happen.
Okay, sister, let's leave this horrible place here.
Yeah, so I'll take a token of faithfulness.
Okay. So, because we are running low on time, we're going to, instead of going for another room or getting another token, which usually you would do if you're playing, like we would probably take another hour or so. We are just going to go on to the final room. So
Try to erase any trauma that you have, Sophie.
yeah, you can erase your trauma. You guys took erase one trauma because you took a token of faithfulness.
I have no trauma already.
Yeah, I'm clear on trauma too.
So when the bride collects enough evidence to prove her husband's loving intentions as a faithful bride, which you have done, it's time for you to make your choice. So you continue through this house. You go through another dark hallway and you take a turn. You're sure that in the distance you can hear servants. You think that maybe you can hear cries somewhere, but you're not sure. You traveled these dark halls in search of a truth most divisive. Each room provided you with all the evidence you desired to make that one fateful choice. Now you stand before this forbidden final room, and you must decide. It's a beautiful door that matches a small key that you were told to never use. It's smaller than the other doors, but it seems to fit your height perfectly. It's silver and gilded, and it seems to have the image of two lovers embracing, their lips together, their arms wrapped around each other. It's truly a beautiful door. And as you look at it, this is when you make your choice. You can enter the room, or you can look through the keyhole. And this is something that the two unshattered sisters make this choice, but the other ones can, of course, give some input.
I'm not. I don't know.
For every other room. Just look both ways. Is no one around? He's probably just hiding a gift for us. He said he was a thoughtful gift giver.
I think we should look through the keyhole because I want to win.
I agree. And we did say we were gonna make him love us so much.
Make him love us so much that he can't hurt us. And if He won't
If we-
love us. He won't like it if we don't
we
do the things
disobey.
he wants us to do.
Yeah.
All right. As you look through the keyhole, it takes you a moment for your eyes to adjust to what you see. It's bright at first, but you begin to look around and you see a few couches there, and at first you see feet, you see legs, you see these beautiful dresses on these women, and there are a few familiar faces that you have seen through the rooms you've investigated. But as you continue to look, you see these women, and there's nothing alive about them. But even stranger is you see them joined together, their bodies merged into one, two, sometimes three, into one being. And it reminds you, Virgin, of how you wanted your life to be merged with Bluebeard when you bought him, or you gave him the watch on your wedding. How you wanted your life to be like your mother and father's marriage, how you envied that. And you all, the both of you, see suddenly these women begin to move and cry out for your help and tell you that they love him so much, that that's what they wanted, to be merged with him forever, that he is their true love and he will be your true love if only you give him what he wants, if only you pledge your life to be with him forever, if only you stay by his side no matter what. And as you continue to look, you hear in the distance, "My dear wife, I'm home. I've returned. I hope you haven't missed me too much." And as we draw to an end, we have a few questions. So, Virgin, what did the bride lose when she saw the horrors through the keyhole?
I think she lost hope of happiness. Like, she could be merged with him and love him, but I don't think she could ever truly be happy after seeing that.
Fatal, what loving impulse kept the bride from going into the room?
He just loves us so much. He chose us out of anybody, out of nothing. And she didn't want to, and I'm the Fatal. She was like attracted to him and is attracted, finds him very attractive, and was very disappointed and like looking forward to their wedding night, and she didn't want to lose that by angering him.
Yeah. Animus, how did Bluebeard reward the bride for remaining loyal and not going inside?
We were happy for a while.
then what happened?
Then things changed as they always did with him. But for a while, there was happiness.
And what is the bride's favorite room to spend her days in?
Unbeknownst to the husband, this room.
And I will let you all answer this one together. How does the bride cope with the horrors she spied through the keyhole?
I think maybe whenever they haunt her, she throws herself emotionally and physically to her husband. They aren't there. He doesn't love them. He loves us. And we're better because we aren't in that room.
Yeah, we're not dead.
I mean, they didn't used to be dead either.
Truth.
But we're alive now.
And that's what matters.
Exactly.
Well, that is Bluebeard's bride.
Oh my god. Oh, I'd love to play that for longer.
Sweet.
That was a lot of fun.
That was dope.
The best thing about it is it has such good replayability too, because
You can make up different rooms.
so many different rooms. Yeah.
So many like different endings and like
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the first time I played, it was very Norman Bates.
Mm.
Like, he had a
And you
weird,
can
like,
also
mom
set it
thing.
in different eras too. Like I was reading a book, there was something about like having a cell phone. You can do it so many times.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, someone who's on the stream later today ran it for us on a previous 12-hour stream, and she's running another Magpie Games game tonight, the Carnival Crossroads.
Ooh.
So yeah, that should be cool. We actually have like this spooky game. We have the Carnival game as a spooky game, and then we have another D&D game that's a spooky game. So today's a weird August spookfest.
I love spooky games.
I mean, it's almost Halloween, right?
Yeah, it's Halloweenish. It's adjacent.
Basically.
So
It's
first of all, thanks
I mean
everyone.
they're putting Halloween decorations up.
That's
so.
true. That's true. I want to thank everyone for jumping in here, especially last minute. I literally put the call out for people like 2 days ago. Katie, if you're not running more horror games, you're playing D&D wrong or tabletop wrong. That was good. That was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed your grotesque approach to this game. That was pretty dope. I didn't know what to expect. So yeah,
I
this
hope
was
it
cool.
wasn't too rough on everyone's like lines and bells and
No,
stuff.
no, this was dope.
I really tried to stick to that. I never want to make anyone uncomfortable because I know how that feels. So
Yeah,
No, I love it.
I want to
play
see. I want to see you no holds barred. I want you like yeah. I want it full on. You just go off the rails with a spooky game. And if you need a place to do that, this is a place for you. We've done some pretty dark shit here. So yeah, let's go around, get your thoughts on the game, and find out who you are, where we can find you, and then we'll set up for the next game. So we'll start with our illustrious GM today. Katie, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of your first time running Bluebeard's Bride?
I had a lot of fun. This is a game I have been really obsessed with. I actually just got the books like last week. I've been wanting to play it for a super long time, and Mike finally let me come on his channel. He has been keeping me away
It's true.
for
Facts.
forever. It's just really rude. But yeah, it was an honor to run this for you guys. I loved you guys playing. I am you follow me on my private Twitter or personal Twitter, sorry, Katie Face. You can find me on Off the Table. I do social media there. I'm also there all the time. I'm not gonna talk about everything I do. Just follow me on my Twitter. You'll see where I am. I post about it. Tomorrow, though, I will be on Other Doc's channel playing a game of Fiasco. I've never played Fiasco before. I am very excited to play. I have heard so much fun shit about that game, so I'm excited to just have a ball. So yeah, that's where I'll be tomorrow.
Sweet. Yeah, let's keep right on going. We'll go to Sophie. Sophie, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of Bluebeard's Bride?
Hi. I love this game. I want to play more. I want to play it for 6 hours. Yeah, if you ever run it again, hey. Yeah, no, I love horror games. I'm just like, yeah, give it to me. Yeah, and I'm Sophie at Sophie May. You can find it there. And yeah, I'm doing RPGs like 3 times a week, and then whenever anyone else wants to invite me to stuff, I'll be like, yeah, screw uni work. And yeah, follow me on my Twitter for what I'm doing. I'm on playing tomorrow on Capricorn Cross's channel.
Sweet. He was actually here for the last charity stream.
Awesome.
Yeah, so let's jump right over to Lauren. Lauren, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of Bluebeard's Bride?
Hey, I had a great time. I love horror games, but also they're just like a lot. So sometimes I'm just like, I want to play Golden Sky Stories for a bit and just not do this. But it's been a while. I'm really good to get into that like dark, weird sexual stuff. So, this was a lot of fun. I have also been really excited to play this game, so I'm really glad we got to do it. And I can't imagine somebody better to play it with than y'all. Katie, you did such a wonderful job. And you can find me at jail_nice girl on Twitter. You can also find my podcast, Too Many RPGs, anywhere where there's podcasts that you can get it there, except Spotify. We're not on it yet. I'm trying. But it is a podcast where fans and cast members of various actual play streams and shows and podcasts come and talk about why they love the show so much. We recently covered unMadeGaming's Havoc in the Hinterlands, which just ended. But it was a great episode. It was Courtney just coming and on and talking about how much you love it. So definitely at Too Many RPGs is our Twitter, and you can find all of our links and everything there. I play games on the internet all over, so just find me on Twitter, and that's where you can find out where I'm playing.
Fantastic. And definitely last but not least, Dave, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of Bluebeard's Bride?
Hi, I am Dave. You can find me on the internet at cc-2224. I loved Bluebeard's Bride. It was a lot of fun. Katie did a fantastic job running the game, and if you want to see her creating more weird, creepy stuff, not necessarily on the same level, but still weird and creepy stuff, she is running Monster of the Week, which is starting up about mid next month on Fridays on off_the_table on Twitch, in which I am a cast member, and she gets to torture me because there's a chance I have 1 month left to live.
Sweet. That's always the best kind of drama when you're about to die.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you guys very much. Katie, thank you for jumping on board and finally coming over here after begging you for months. Thank you to the cast that jumped on super last minute, like I said. And before we go and change over to the next show, I remind you guys this is a charity stream. Feel free to donate for charity. We are halfway to our goal. So far this year, we've raised 6,000 and change for Extra Life on this channel alone, 7,000 and change as a team. If you want to be part of the team, there is a link I will provide for you in chat. You can come over and join the team and raise how much ever money you want. There's no prerequisites for it. Just slide up and do that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you guys like the show, hit that follow button. Join us in Discord. And with that, we will be right back. Bye-bye.
Bye.